Hey yo, fellas, we made men. We made men. Try to believe that within. I just wanna be a good man. Okay, I know you are, but tell me you a good man. Tell me you're a good man. So many men are being crushed. Societal demands to be tough. Yes, you are enough. Okay. I just wanna be a good man. I can't relate to you, brother, cause you're a good man. Yes, you are a good man. Listen, I'm right beside you, I'm right behind you. I know that life could be hard. That right? You're not a coward, you got the power for talking about your scars. No, you're not soft. Let me inspire you, empower you, because society may wanna see you fall. You got another brother to call. So many men are being crushed. Societal demands to be tough. Yes, you are enough. Don't bluff. Okay. I can't relate to you, brother, cause you're a good man. Yes, you are a good man. Hey, I'm here, my brother. You know I love you. Yes, you are enough. I just wanna be a good man. I can't relate to you, brother, cause you're a good man. Yes, you are a good man.
What's up, family? Welcome to the M.A.D.E Project. I'm your host, DB, and I'm bringing on my good friend Jamar Gordon, Vice President of Brokerage Services at Metro Commercial, and a new father to a beautiful 5-month-old baby girl. And when I say new father, well, he's been at the game for about 20 years almost, and he just had a little girl about 5 months ago. So today, Jamar is going to help me dismantle society's false sense of masculinity because so many men are being crushed under societal demands to be tough, deny any kind of vulnerability, sensitivity, or any internal hurt and pain. It's time to change that narrative. So it's going to be a great show with so many things you guys are going to want to pay attention to. But first, really quickly, if you are a man who knows that you have the potential to do great things, but just not sure how to get from where you are to where you want to be, you're trapped in mental and emotional bondage, you're being crushed under self-limiting beliefs and behaviors, it's time to stop struggling with the stress, anxiety, and fear and head over to www.linkedin.com/dbempowers and send me a message and we'll book you a free no pitch clarity call so you can learn about me and my team and if how we can help you master your emotions and begin maximizing your full potential both personally and professionally within the next 60 days. My man Jamar, what's going on, brother? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me, man. When you asked me to be a part of it, it was a no-brainer.
Yes, sir, man. Well, I'm glad I can actually have you on, brother. I know you're a busy man, a lot going on, and
Yeah.
jumping back into the world of fatherhood after being out the game for 20 plus years. Let's talk about that, brother.
Oh man. First of all, I want to say that it's definitely a blessing
Yes, sir.
to be a father again. Just kind of growing up the way I grew up, to be sitting here in my 40s and to have a beautiful daughter at 5 months, and to have my son who just turned 20
Yeah.
a week or so ago, in Lebanon Valley College. My oldest daughter just turned 26, living in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
My middle daughter, is just 22. You know what I mean? Like it's a true blessing to be here, today, and just, what I mean, and not be that angry young man coming up, in the streets of Philadelphia and Bucks County and Portsmouth, Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's been a journey. It's been a journey.
Man, that's great, man. I and you know me, you know I'm happy for you. I'm happy
Yeah.
for your beautiful lady, man, and that beautiful young little princess that you are raising. Every time I
Yeah.
see her, man, she looks so filled with joy and love, man, and she's just
Yeah.
constantly smiling. I know it's a camera and it's a still, but at the end of
Yeah.
the day, man, that
No,
smile,
but it's genuine. It's
yeah, that
genuine.
smile says it
You
all,
know what I
man.
mean?
Yeah,
That's genuine. But I want to give that. I want to give much credit to Nora's mom,
yeah,
Deborah Feliciano, for sure,
yeah,
because her side is definitely full of energy
yeah.
and excitement and joy and things of that nature.
Right,
And
right.
you know what I mean? So I'll definitely have to give, her credit and her family credit for bringing that piece out of us. That's for sure. I say us, me and Nora.
Right, both
You
of
know
you.
what I'm saying? Me and Nora. You know what I'm
Great,
saying? So
man.
I just want to acknowledge that for sure.
And that's great, man. So let's jump right into it, brother. As a boy, man, who and what was your example of a man?
I mean, to be quite honest with you, man, I've had some poor examples
Yeah,
as a boy growing up in the projects of Portsmouth, Virginia. I mean, the guys I looked up to, was the guys that was driving those big cars with the big wheels, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, had the chains, and you know what I mean, and was considered, you know, the drug dealer sitting in the first row of the church.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, on Sundays, man. Those are the guys that were kind of like the guys I wanted to be. You know what I mean? They were my role models at the time because that's what I saw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My uncles, you know, my one uncle was in jail, in and out. You know what I'm saying? You know, my mom, you know what I mean, was you know, God rest her soul, you know what I mean, raising 3 kids in, you know, in the 80s, you know,
Yeah.
by herself. I remember watching her walk from, you know, the projects to the mall, you know, to work for a minimum wage. And, you know, and that began to take its toll, you know what I mean? And that's where you got the drugs involved, you know what I'm saying? And you know, that whole journey, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And she eventually decided that, you know what, I'm a move to PA. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And she you know, a lot of people don't know this about me, but you know, my mom, she couldn't take me when she went to PA
Yeah.
because I had got into some trouble in Portsmouth, and they told her if she had took me, she would be charged.
Mm.
So I ended up staying with my grandfather in Jeffel Wilson projects, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, as a young man, and just getting into a lot of trouble, you know, following the wrong crowd, you know what I'm saying, and just wanted to be somebody, you know what I'm saying, wanted to be somebody that was respected, you know what I'm saying, and you know, those years of you know, growing up were some difficult years because I eventually ended up in the detention center,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, which eventually, you know, ended up in, you know, Barrett Learning Center, which is Richmond, Virginia,
Yeah.
another juvenile facility, you know what I'm saying, and being there for several months, and then being discharged from there, and then being flown on a plane to Pennsylvania to meet my mom, you know what I mean, who had already been here, you know what I'm saying, for at least a year and maybe 2 years at that point.
Yeah.
And getting off the plane and seeing, you know, and seeing my mom, and you know, having one vision in my mind that things were going to be okay, but then the reality of coming home and seeing, you know, the struggles of what she was you know, what she was living through, you know what I mean, which is, you know, self, man. And you know, I remember points, you know, trying to beat up, you know, every drug dealer that was selling to her, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And you know, that's not a realistic approach, but you know, you young, you know what I'm saying? And that's, you know, that's how you attack it. You know what I mean? I didn't really have a lot of fear. You know what I mean? This was my days in Bristol, PA. This was Bucks County,
Yeah.
you know, where my aunt stayed, and things of that nature. And I have a lot of, you know, good family and friends down there still who live there, you know. But then I ended up getting sent to Glen Mills, you know what I'm saying? And that's really where the transformation, you know what I mean, started, because, you know, and people could say, you know, there's a lot of stuff that surrounds Glen Mills, but the one thing I want to say is that those guys taught me, they gave me the skill set to be able to fight through anything,
Yeah.
because they didn't allow me to make excuses. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they made it like, yo, this totally up to you. You know what I mean? And that's when I started getting into sports. You know what I mean? That's when I was introduced to wrestling, you know, lacrosse,
Yeah.
powerlifting, football, you know what I'm saying? All those different sports, you know what I'm saying? And that's where I was able to kind of horn that anger, you know what I'm saying? And the whole time I'm up there, man, I'm still dealing with, you know, mom and her addiction. And I even got to a point at Glen Mills, man, where I was a campus exec, you know what I'm saying? And you know, you come home, you know what I mean, on home pass after being, you know, basically my whole childhood was in placement. So I get the opportunity to come home, and then I got to a point where I was roaming the streets again, you know what I'm saying, where I was back, you know what I'm saying, and I ended up leaving the Mills. And I remember sitting in on Ray Street in Bristol one summer reading the paper, and it was this guy named who eventually became, you know, one of my football teammates up at Ben Selling. His name was Robertson. His last name was Robertson,
Yeah.
Rich Robertson. And they was talking about how he was a Division I, you know, defensive tackle, you know, all the hoopla. And I remember reading the paper, man. I'm like, yo, I could be him.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? At this point, I had my GED. You know what I mean? So I didn't technically have to go back to finish my senior year.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? I'm going back to school. I'm going to play football.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I went to Ben Salem. It took me a little bit to get in because I had the GED, had to go through some stuff with the state, but I ended up getting there and playing. You know what I'm saying? And end up, getting some all conference honors. You know what I mean? Third team. I only played 6 games.
Yeah.
Had
Yeah.
like 48 tackles, 6 fumble recoveries, several tackles.
Right.
Sacks.
Right.
And I remember Millersville coming down, man. Bob Forgrave and Will Smith. They came down and recruit, and they said, "What tape you want me to watch?" You know what I'm saying? In regards to your point, I said, "Man, you can watch any of them." You know what I'm saying? Like, because my thing was, I knew I went out there and gave 100%,
Yeah.
and it didn't matter if I lost on a play or whatever. I knew that you had to bring your lunchbox.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I knew I wasn't going to win every down. You know what I'm saying? But you was going to bring your lunchbox, and you knew that you played me.
Right.
And those things stick with me today. You know what I'm saying? And then that's how I end up getting the football scholarship to Millersville, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know, man. I didn't play a full season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And end up getting a scholarship to Millersville. And I started my freshman year from that point on. You know what I'm saying? I got all conference honors at Millersville 2 years in a row up there. You know what I'm saying? So I had some good time and eventually coaching. And that's how, I encountered you, at Thaddeus Stevens. And, we won some chips up there, at Thaddeus. But, I took you through that journey just to show that, the things that sometimes you got to overcome. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sitting here saying, woe is me or feel sorry for me. I believe that certain things happen for a reason. When you're young, you make poor decisions. You're not really thinking about the impact of others and the things that surround you. But as you get older, you start to look back at that journey and appreciate the fact that you made it through.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? And you use that as the foundation for you to build on. You know what I'm saying? By no means as I sit here as a perfect man. You know what I mean? Like, my goal is to get better every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When I wake up in the morning to make prayer, you know what I mean? I ask to be forgiven.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to try to do things better than I did the day before. You know what I'm saying? So, it's it's a certain will and desire that you gotta have, you know what I mean, that can't be given. You can't give that to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's nothing I can listen to. It's gotta be something that burns inside of you that say, you know what, I want to be better.
Yeah.
I want to be better than the men that I saw. You know what I'm saying? When I was young, and the saying, and you know this from treatment, hurt people hurt people.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was hurt. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the selling of the drugs, and that's what all that stuff, you know what I mean? You want it for your own self, your selfish reasons. You, in your mind, you're telling yourself it's about survival and taking care of your family. But what you later realize as you get older, how you hurt an entire community, how you hurt generations of people for your own selfish reasons, you know what I mean, that you feed yourself. You know what I'm saying? And as the day at 44, as I sit here, I'll be honest with you, and I was just talking to Kurt about this not too long ago. I'm ashamed of some of those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't talk to the younger generation with some type of, stamp of approval of those things. I'm ashamed of them because I know the impact that they had on my community. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, when I say that I'm representing this, my journey for the people that come through that struggle, that doesn't mean that I'm saying one race, because what I've learned over the course of this journey, and I'm gonna just keep it really honest and real with you, is that it wasn't a person that looked like me that pulled me up. You know what I'm saying? It was not. It was my Caucasian wrestling coach, who Coach Dunn, who refused to allow me to make excuses, who said, Jamar, you had potential. You know what I'm saying? It was a former Villanova football player who was an offensive line guy by the name of John up at Glen Mills, who sat me down in the hallway and told me, Jamar, you know, you could be whatever you want to be, regardless of your situations. You know what I'm saying? Like it was my history teacher who played for Penn State and later played for, you know, the Seattle Seahawks that pulled me in the back of the classroom and say, hey, Jamar, you're not like these other young men. You know what I'm saying? You got an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Don't allow these things to, you know, mess up your opportunity. These were men that did not look like me, but took an interest in me. You know what I'm saying? You know, my offensive and defensive line coach had been Selling. You know what I mean? The first guy that, you know, that you know, set me down and held me accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like, these were men, you know, there wasn't, you know, and this doesn't take anything away from, you know, Black men. I'm not saying that at all. But I gotta be honest about the people. I remember sitting in Millsville, right? My mom was still in the streets a little bit, and she didn't want to fill out my financial aid. And I'm like, yo, I cannot go back to Philly. Like you know, because I knew what was going on. Like I knew what I was into. I knew my friends, what they were into. They was going in and out of the feds and jail. I was like, yo, I can't go back to Philly. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about fear. It was just I didn't want to get stuck in that pit. You know what I'm saying? There's so many of us, you know, because you know how the street, it just, even when you try not to, it just sucks you in.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember sitting in Coach Carpenter's office with him and Bob Fourgraves, man. And I was crying, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not ashamed to say it. I was crying, man, because I couldn't understand my mom, why she wouldn't, you know, fill those out, knowing that I needed to do this to continue my education. You know what I'm saying? And Coach Carpenter and Fourgrave, man, they looked at me and was like, we're gonna handle it. And lo and behold, man, you know, I ended up going to sit down with the White Horsey over at Millsville and that financial aid office. They helped me out, man, in terms of being able to continue my education and be able to get my financial aid and stuff without needing my mom. That's why Millsville holds such a special place for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like we've had some ups and downs, you know what I mean, while I was there as a young man, as a football player, and things of that nature. But that school, that community, that you know, they hold a special place with me, man. You know what I'm saying? Because if they didn't, Coach Carpenter and Fourgrave and, you know, those coaching staff, if they didn't believe in me, you know what I'm saying, and I went back to the city, I was a reckless young boy. I didn't have a lot of fear. You know what I'm saying? And you know, they believed in me, man, and they stood up for me and they allowed me to get those things that I needed to continue on in college, man.
That's great, man. That's great. I want to ask you, man. You went through a lot right there, man, which is a powerful journey, a powerful story. Let me ask you, man, when it comes to your emotion, because you spoke about, you know, you sat up in the office crying, and a lot of men don't think that that's manly or that's something a man should do. But let me ask you, when it comes to your emotions, man, what's harder for you? Is it harder for you to identify what you're feeling, process through what you're feeling, or communicate what you're feeling?
I say, to be perfectly honest, I think a little bit of all three,
Yeah,
because it really depends on the situation, you know, because sometimes when I care about people, sometimes I care to a fault. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? So those emotions are different than if you're dealing with a stranger, because there's really no emotional attachment there. You're able to kind of separate it, see the situation, and quickly come up with a solution
right.
because it's not connected to you. But when it's connected to you, that's where the challenge comes at.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know, where I need time to process. Sometimes I just got to be quiet.
Yeah,
Like, you know, and sometimes people may think that I'm ignoring them, but what I'm simply doing is self-talking. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Like, you know, because just because I feel a certain type of way, it doesn't give me the right to lash out or
Mm,
to say exactly how I feel to the other person. You know what I'm saying? Because my emotions are high.
yeah,
So, you know what I mean? Like, so I try to take a step back. I'm not perfect at it by no means.
right.
And especially when it comes, I think coming when you're dealing with family,
Yeah,
it's the hardest to control, you know what I mean? Because there's a connection, there's an emotional connection, years and years of connection with them. but in the community and at work and dealing with business, I'm able to separate the two fairly quickly.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And be able to process. And sometimes the best things are not saying anything.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
I get it, man. That's great, man. Let me ask you a question, man. So now that you're older, though, how has your definition of a man changed over the years?
Oh, it's definitely changed over the years, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me get this charger. It looks like my phone, my computer about to die. Hold on. Honest with you, a man is multitude of things, man. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And I think even in 2020, we have to be leaders. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? We can't follow the crowd, and we have to have the ability to stand for something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and we have to be more solution oriented as men. You know what I'm saying? And we need to drop the hard hysteria that that men can't cry, men can't show softness and things of that nature, because that's not true.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've made many mistakes over the years because of my baggage. You know what I'm saying? I've been divorced. I'm divorced. You know what I'm saying? And the scariest thing for me right now as a man is being a two-time loser in that type of relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the one thing that I recognize is that you can't hold on to those old stereotypes. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It's okay to cry. It's okay to, demonstrate, hurt. It's okay to show empathy and sympathy. You know what I'm saying? Before, I didn't necessarily say that I felt like that, because I think I looked at those things like most men as weaknesses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But think about this for a second. And I had my first child at 18,
Yeah.
and you can only imagine, you figure all my childhood, I was, basically in placement.
Right.
So, what I mean, I really didn't know how to be a father. And I didn't meet my personal father till I was 30 years old. You know what I mean? So I couldn't have told you if he walked past me what he looked like or any of that.
Right.
I say all those things to say is that as I sit here as a father of a 5-month-old, is that we're the first introduction to men to our daughters. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
they watch how you treat their mothers. They watch how you treat, your sisters and your aunts. And they begin to formulate their opinion in terms of men by what they see from you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I made it a commitment to work on myself as a man every day. You know what I'm saying? Because there's certain things that I want to show her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always been a provider, right? And people like, well, you got to be able to take care of the kid, this and that. And they're absolutely right. You do.
Right.
But at 44, I recognize the importance of time.
Yeah.
You can't get that time back. Like, for her, my daughter, man, she smiled like when she wake up in the morning, like her smile light up the room. And
Yeah.
this is every morning. You know what I'm saying? I can't get that time back if I'm not there.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, that's how I look at it, man.
That's great, man. So when it comes to your role, where you're at in life now, the maturity, the growth, the evolution, I know you had some stressful things in your life to come up. How do you deal with the stress and challenges in your life?
Well, I do a lot of self development, man. Like, I walk in the morning, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, for, 45, 50 minutes. And all I'm listening to over the course of that walk is my man Inky Johnson, you know what I'm saying, Impose Your Will, my man Will Hollis, you know what I'm saying, Eric Thomas, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying. I'm listening to these guys, the guy Walter, you know what I'm saying, that, his the likability, Walter Bond, I believe that's his name,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. And now, I've been listening to a guy by the name of Jack Daly. That's more so for sales training and
Hmm.
things of that nature, but he's just real direct as well. And I like all those other guys too, like Tony Robbins You know what I mean? Guys like that too. You know what I mean? So, and then, I go to the gym,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And, and it's not so much that I'm in the gym to set the gym on fire. That's not really why I'm there.
Yeah.
It's just there for me to just take a step back and just, breathe for a second and release some of that tension. You know what I'm saying? Because, we carry that tension around. You know what I mean? In the morning, I get up, sometimes people be like, why you get up so early? You know what I mean? But I need time to get ready mentally for the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I need that 30 minutes in the morning where I ain't just doing nothing, check the news, drink a cup of coffee before I get, to looking at emails or making prayer at 5:20, some meditation, just to get my mind right. You know what I mean? I like listening to music. You know what I mean? I'm a horrible golfer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I do enjoy, going to, the driving range. You know what I'm saying? Hitting golf balls. I like going to the gun range now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like just doing stuff that I wouldn't normally do. You know what I'm saying? Talking with, friends. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And, laughing with
Yeah.
those guys about life, and really spending time with my daughter, man.
Man, that's great. And those are basically some of the same things that bring you joy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I get
I've
it.
gotten away from focusing so much on my before everything with me was about my career.
Yeah.
I've gotten away from that though,
Got
because if you have the routine and you consistently do certain things, your career is going to take off.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But your family, you may miss some valuable time with them if you're not accessible to them.
Right.
And I've done that over the years, and I don't want to do that again.
Man, that's powerful, man. What is one piece of advice you would give men of any age right now about this false sense of masculinity, man?
I would say, as a man, you got to define you.
Mm. Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You can't let other people define you. You know what I'm saying? Or your situation or your environment. You can't let that define you. You have to define you, which means that goes with some really deep reflection. You know what I'm saying? And really being honest with yourself and saying, what is your weaknesses? What is your strengths? You know what I'm saying? Like, one of my weaknesses is sometimes loyalty.
Yeah.
Sometimes loyalty, I could be loyal to a fault. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Procrastination. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like, because, sometimes we just live on potential. You know what I'm saying? And because you got the ability to recover. But imagine if you didn't have to recover and you just need to take a step up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I try to put things in place to help me with my weaknesses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that I don't get caught, stuck there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if I could tell any man out there, is that self-reflection.
Yeah,
You know what
man.
I'm saying? You define you. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Because, if you look for society to define you and tell you what you should be, you're going to have some blinders on, and you're going to find out that you're going to constantly keep going up this ladder that got grease on it, and you keep ending up at the bottom.
Mm. Yeah. That's deep, brother. I love that, man. Last question for you, man. And I kind of figure I know what it is, man, but I want you to bring it to the world, man. Like, what type of legacy are you leaving in this world, brother?
Man, that's what I'm working on now, man, to be honest with you, man.
Yeah.
When they say my name, man, when I'm no longer really, I want you to give me my accolades while I'm here. Let me
Yeah.
just
Right.
say
Right.
that from the
Right.
rip.
Right.
But but when they say my name, man, I want them to remember me, as a person that was loving, giving. You know what I'm saying? He loved his family. He would fight for what he believed in. You know what I'm saying? And then the other part of it is that, I'm working on stopping the cycle, you know what I'm saying, in regards to showing my kids the importance of ownership. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Ownership of real estate, ownership of self.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What I mean? Like, those are the things that I want people to remember me for. You know, like I don't want you to remember me for making a sack you know, in the Shippensburg game. And that's cool, but that's not how I want my legacy to be.
Yeah.
I want, you know, I want the legacy to be the kids that I coach, where they say, you know what, coach impacted me. You know what I'm saying? He held me to an expectation. And because of him, you know what I mean, I decided to go this step further.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I think back to when we was coaching at McCaskey and I watched a young man, Derek Dixon,
Yeah.
right? And we took him from linebacker and then he came down the D line with you, right? And you showed him how to play DN. And then this young man later went on to a junior college, later went on to Division I school.
Yeah.
And I remember times people questioning whether he could play or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I watched you work with this kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and, you know, that's just one of many examples.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? That, you know, that I've seen, you know what I mean? And those are the type of things that mean, like, you know, when I coached at Thaddeus Stevens, you know, football and later with basketball with Coach Cannon and to see those young men go off and be successful. And then they come back and they talk about the conversations we had with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that are important to me.
Yeah.
Those things don't have any monetary value to them, but they're priceless.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So that when my kids run into these people and they hear these stories, now they like, yo, that's my dad. That's who my dad was.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's powerful, man. And I definitely see you doing that, brother. I truly appreciate you giving me some of your precious time this morning. I know you got the little lady, and since you and her
Yeah.
out right now, so I
Yep.
appreciate you making time for this thing, man. Hey, brother, I salute you, man. You know, me being that I have a front row seat for the last, 20 odd years of
Yeah.
maturation and evolution, is man. Like I'm so proud to have you as my big brother. You know what I mean? Because I see
Yeah.
the growth that you go through. I see what you do every day, man, and just the fact that how hard you're hitting this pavement every day, not just for career status, but also just to develop yourself and be a better dad, a better, what I'm saying, a better spouse, a better, a better brother, a better cousin, whatever. You're just trying to level yourself up in every single way, man. And that's inspiring, brother. So I'm gonna give you your accolades now, family. I see what
I
you're doing.
appreciate it.
Continue to do it. I see what you're doing in the in the commercial real estate game. Continue to do your thing, man, because that's much needed out here. And I appreciate you coming on and not just coming on giving me fluff, but being vulnerable, man.
Yeah.
Exposing your strength, exposing your weaknesses, but also identifying your strengths, man, and the things you're doing to continue to improve every day. So, man, I
Absolutely.
thank you for being on this show, brother.
And I want to thank you also, Coach, man, for one, inviting me, and also, you know, just those early morning conversations months ago that we used to have, man. You know, when I was in the thick of things, you know, the last, 5 years, you know what I mean, of working through those things, man. Like, so, to watch your transformation and to just say to, the public out there, this brother is real. You know what I'm saying? And if you really want to get down to work and work on self and talk about those issues that you've been holding on to, that you see yourself into a cycle with, he's the right brother to talk to. You know what I'm saying? It's more about action. You know what I mean? We can talk all day, but he about that action, man. And if you really want to work, give him a call. And that's from the heart. That's not no self-promotion and nothing like that. I know this brother. I coached him. I know him as a friend, as a colleague. You know what I'm saying? Like, reach out to him, talk to him, man. Trust me, you will feel better.
Amen.
You will work on the things that you need to work on. So give DB Powers and his team a call. You know what I'm saying? This is a good team.
Definitely appreciate it, brother, man. I love you, man. I will catch up with you, man.
All day, man.
Special day with your princess, man.
Will do, man. Love you too, bro. Talk to you later.